DC News Now at 4.
All of our hearts are broken.
The Francis Scott Key Bridge collapses after a cargo ship slams into it, causing damage. What we know about rescue efforts underway to save anyone who may have fallen into the water.
While leaders pledge their support and try to recover.
I promise we're not leaving.
Plus, what impact will the crash have on the economy and you?
No one knows right now.
We've got team coverage throughout the hour. Shocking new video showing the moments a cargo ship crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore overnight, collapsing the bridge into the water below.
Crews almost immediately thrown into action to search for those who fell into that water.
Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. For DC News Now at 4, I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm Annalisa Gale. That devastating crash and collapse happening around 1:30 this morning. We have video showing the full extent of that damage as rescue efforts continue this afternoon.
And Annalisa, all day officials have continued to emphasize that there is no evidence to suggest that this was anything but a tragic accident. We'll jump into our team coverage this afternoon. We're going to hear from our Dave Laval, Ben Dennis, and Kevon Dupree shortly, but we start with our Randy Bass. Randy, so much to process here, but we'll start with this. What are we learning about what happened here so far?
Yeah, Mark, Annalisa, this catastrophic collapse here at the Key Bridge in Baltimore, quite unlike anything we've seen here in recent memory. We're learning more details about that crash and what led up to it this afternoon. Just giving you a full picture now of what we're seeing here on the ground just outside the security and emergency perimeter here near the Key Bridge. Right now, those search and rescue operations still very active around the Key Bridge. As for the moments and minutes that led up to that dramatic crash, still not entirely clear. That is going to be at the center of the NTSB's investigation, which is going to be ongoing for months and possibly even years to come. We just heard from Governor Wes Moore. He told us moments ago this is going to be a long road and not a single resource will go unused when it comes to this search and rescue effort. They're going to make sure this operation is carried out fully. At least 6 people right now still unaccounted for. What we know right now, a cargo ship from Singapore, the Dali, hit the Key Bridge around 1:30 this morning here near the port of Baltimore, sending cars and people plunging into the Patapsco River below. Some of them rescued early this morning, one of them in the hospital, another refused treatment. Again, the search for at least 6 people working on the bridge at that time still underway. Governor Wes Moore says he had a chance to speak with some of those families today, and right now the focus is on them. Officials say lives were saved here today after someone made a mayday call and stopped more traffic from coming over this bridge. Every day, officials say about 35,000 cars travel over the bridge and even more use the neighboring 895 tunnel. Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg here on site today too. He says it's going to be quite some time before any sense of normalcy is restored in Baltimore.
Anytime anything happens to any bridge, we as a country take that and learn from that. Learning from incidents as diverse as what happened to I-95 in Philadelphia, what happened to I-10 in Los Angeles, or another case that we're learning a lot from here, which is the 2007 collapse of I-35 West in Minnesota.
Again, Governor Wes Moore says local, state, and federal authorities and officials all stepped up to the plate to aid in this search and rescue effort and investigation. He says there's been overwhelming support from local businesses and nonprofits reaching out, just wanting to learn how they can help. He says today has been a real test of how strong Maryland and Baltimore really are. Live in Baltimore, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Randy, thank you. And all-day crews have been working to rescue anyone who may have been trapped. Our Dave Laval joining us with the latest on the rescue efforts in the water. Dave, what are you learning right now?
Good afternoon to you, Annalisa. Olmsted Road leads, or Fort Olmsted Road leads to the Francis Scott Bridge to my immediate right. It's only open right now, and it's been this way for pretty much the entire day, to trucks that are making deliveries to industrial sites down the road and also emergency responders. We've been told the area along the river is serving right now as a major staging area for those search and rescue operations. Various local, state, and federal agencies have joined those efforts, including Prince George's County Police, who sent 9 divers and 2 boats to help. 2 people were pulled from the water earlier, but as you heard, 6 remain unaccounted for at this point. We've received various updates throughout the day from state and federal representatives, including Maryland Governor Wes Moore. And while the damage to the bridge is devastating, his main focus is the 6 construction workers on the bridge when it collapsed. The governor provided an update just moments ago.
This is very much still a search and rescue mission. We are still actively looking for survivors. We know, and that's the pledge we've made to these families, and this is still very much an active search and rescue mission.
And the governor vowed that every air, land, and water piece of material that can be used to find any survivors will be used. We're live in Baltimore. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, Dave, thank you. And President Biden spoke this afternoon about the bridge collapse in Baltimore.
Yeah, that's right. The president said he would immediately be pledging federal funds to cover the entire cost of rebuilding that bridge, also offering support to the city and the community.
Now, I've been there a number of times as a senator and as a vice president. It handles a record amount of cargo last year. It's also the top port in America for both imports and exports of automobiles and light trucks. Around 850,000 vehicles go through that port every single year.
And we're going to have more reaction from leaders and the community coming up in just a few minutes. And we're going to also get back to our team coverage shortly, but we want to get a quick look at our forecast here.
Yeah, meteorologist David Matson. Today has been a pretty nice day. I didn't have the coat out most of the day.
Yeah, right. Indeed. Yeah, we had some quieter conditions and thankful for that, given all that's been going on over toward Baltimore and even just going about day to day here in the DMV. We've had quieter conditions. Now, if there's one thing that we've had to deal with, especially along the waterways of the area here, all this green you see on the map up and down the shoreline of the Chesapeake Bay and the tidal Potomac River, those are coastal flood advisories and warnings that we are dealing with. The combination of the full moon cycle that's been going on over the last few nights, as well as an onshore wind flow during high tide from an incoming storm system that's been pushing the waters up a little bit along the coastlines. So coastal flooding and those higher tides is something we will have to deal with here over the next couple of days. But again, I mentioned the wind speeds and the wind direction coming in off of the water is the result of this incoming storm system here, folks. We're right on the edge of it. We've been dry, but very cloudy throughout the day. Those clouds are still in place out there, no question, with rainfall looming just up over the Allegheny front to our west. And eventually that rainfall is going to make its way here, but we have a few more hours of dry time before that happens as we go into the rest of your Tuesday evening here. Very cloudy, a little bit on the cool side, but rain showers hold off. And if anybody sees rain showers, it will just be out over the mountains of western Maryland and West Virginia to start. But as we get into the day tomorrow, this very expansive storm system that goes from the Great Lakes all the way down to the Gulf Coast, it finally starts to arrive here with its cold fronts pushing some additional rain into the area on Wednesday. But as we approach the end of the week, this front is likely to stick around and continue to produce unsettled weather. When should we expect this front and the rainfall it produces to exit? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Continuing our coverage on the bridge collapse in Baltimore, we're now hearing reaction from people who live in the community.
Yeah, DC News Now's Kevon Dupree is at Fort McHenry. And Kevon, you heard from people who live in the Federal Hill area of the city earlier today. What are they saying this afternoon?
Mark and Elisa, Fed Hill is usually a pretty happening area here in Baltimore, but today the area was a bit gloomy due to this tragic bridge collapse.
It was just kind of jarring because you're never seeing something that was once there and then seeing it gone. Something of that structure. It's just something I'm not used to. It's kind of messing with me a little bit.
Baltimore community members devastated by the early morning collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Many waking up to the harrowing video online.
I was just like, oh my God. And then you just see it all crumbling down. Because I know that one pillar got knocked. The whole thing just rushed down. I was just like,
Some also awakened to several messages from concerned friends and loved ones.
My family doesn't live around here, so they didn't know if I take that bridge or if I was out and about or whatever.
I woke up with a lot of texts from coworkers that live in different states too and just saw on the news.
Gray Ogburn lives close to the Key Bridge. He says when his father told him what happened, he ran to their rooftop.
Couldn't totally see it, and then once I rode my bike all the way, I kind of saw the thing was gone, and I was like, man, it's just crazy.
Abigail Adamson grew up in Baltimore and says she's simply in disbelief that the bridge is now gone.
I probably have taken it maybe 30 to 40 times in the past couple years. So it was pretty scary to know that I've, been driving on that bridge and yeah.
And the people I spoke with say their thoughts and prayers are with the people impacted by this tragedy. Reporting in Baltimore, I'm Kevon Dupree, DC News Now.
All right, Kevon, thank you. And we're learning more about the ownership of the ship Dali. The ship is owned by Grace Ocean Private Limited and managed by Synergy Marine Group. They say that 2 pilots were on board at the time of the crash. All 22 crew members and both pilots have been accounted for. No one was hurt. Now, they also report that no pollution of any kind took place, and the ship had a capacity of 10,000 units, but was only carrying roughly 4,600 units at the time of the crash. We know the ship was headed to Colombo, which is the capital port of Sri Lanka. And we've learned that Synergy Marine have had their share of problems over the years, including another in 2016, this accident taking place in a port in Belgium. And our Leonard N. Fleming has been looking at the history of the ship and the company, and he joins us live in the newsroom. Leonard, what have you learned so far?
Mark, both Synergy Marine and Grace Ocean Private Ltd. have been sued in federal court for allegations of negligence and worker injuries. And the companies are now facing even more scrutiny given Tuesday's early morning bridge collapse in Baltimore. The Dali ship was involved in a 2016 accident at the port of Antwerp in Belgium when a quay wall was damaged, port officials confirmed to DC News Now. Court records show a 2019 lawsuit was brought against the Singapore-based companies that own the ship after an Oregon man broke several bones when a rope ladder snapped. Also in 2019, another lawsuit was filed for a Texas worker injured when a hatch prematurely opened. And a longshoreman in Georgia sued in 2021 when a handrail collapsed. 3 out of the 4 lawsuits were settled out of court while 1 was dismissed. And Maryland officials have called this so far an accident. Reporting in the newsroom, Leonard N. Fleming, DC News Now. Back to you.